Hi friends, it's spring break around here. Things are kind of crazy, so there's no fancy intro tonight. We're just going to get right into the project. We are making this double pocket fold card, which is fantastic. You can open it up and include more information on the back, or you can adhere the back and then just make it sturdier and keep it like this, but it has two pockets that you can insert tags into, and you can put a little gift card in there if you want to. There are so many different things that you can do with this. Before we get started though, I want to show you what I did with mine. I made my first one, let's see, 7 years ago now. This was for Erica's, my daughter's high school graduation. So I used it as a graduation announcement and also as an invitation to her party. So not like, everyone in our family, in town and out of town, received an announcement. But of course, if they were out of town, or if they were just a close family friend and lived out of town, they didn't need to have the information about the party. So what I did was, it's the double pocket fold and it has the two tags in it. So on the very front here, I put the announcement about her graduation. And then on the first tab, I put her picture. And on the second tag, I put class of 2014 if you were someone who lived out of town. And then if you were someone who was invited to the party, then this tag had all of the information about the party. I just printed it on my computer and cut it out and glued it to the tag. So this is another example, or a perfect example, of how you can use the double pocket fold card as an invitation. Now on this one, I made it out of cardstock and I adhered the back piece so it doesn't open like this one does. I adhered the back piece and it just makes it stronger. And I made this out of cardstock, but I do think it's much easier to make the double pocket fold card out of a piece of designer series paper, which is what I'm going to show you tonight. That's how I made this happy birthday one. So let's get started. So yes, you can use cardstock, but it's much easier because of all the folding and the layers to use designer series paper, because the designer series paper is much thinner. So you want to cut your 12 by 12 designer series paper down to the size of a piece of cardstock. So 8.5 by 11. And then you want to score it on the 8.5 side. You want to score it down the middle at 4 1/4. And on the 11-inch side, you want to score it down the middle at 5.5 inches. And then after you've done that, just take your bone folder and fold it on the score lines you just made and go over it with your bone folder to make sure that they are nice and crisp score lines. So it folds nice and easily. And you can do it in both directions, just so that it's nice and easy to fold. So you're going to have 4 quadrants: upper left, upper right, bottom left, bottom right. What I want you to do now is in the bottom right-hand corner, take this point and I want you to fold it in, fold it up, just so that it's just a fraction of a bit shorter than where the score line is. So you want to fold it to the score line, but leave like 32nd of an inch away from the score line, and take your bone folder and score that like that. Okay, so this is your bottom right quadrant. You want to fold it up like that. Now you want to take the top left quadrant, and I put this in my paper trimmer, but you can just use a ruler, and you want to measure over 3 inches and put a little tick mark. Whoops, that was way too big, at the 3-inch mark. And then what you want to do is, I can go ahead and erase that so I'm not worried about it. From that point, from the 3-inch point, you want to fold this top left quadrant in like that. and use your bone folder to make sure that that is down nice and firm. So we have our bottom right quadrant folded in to the score line, and then up here we measured over 3 inches and folded this piece in. Now what you want to do is take your paper snips, or you can use your paper trimmer, and on the score line that is below the smaller fold, you just want to snip this along the score line into the center. I'm going a little crooked. I should have used the paper trimmer, but just to save time, I use my paper snips, but I do recommend using the paper trimmer. Okay, so this is what it should look like. If you want to take a screenshot of this, and now we'll move on to the next step. Now we are actually going to make the pockets, and you're going to see how easy, once again, this card is to make. Take the top left quadrant and fold it over, and you'll see already there's your pocket. Then take the bottom and fold it up, and here is the other pocket. Now what I like to do is, oh, and this is the piece that goes in the back, and then you can decide if you want to leave it there, which I recommend you do because it's more card for you. But if you don't want to, you can go ahead and put some adhesive on here and glue that down. But you can take this piece. So this is your first smaller fold. What I recommend doing is taking this fold, which was the larger of 2, and flipping it this way. So you have more of a variety of your designer series paper. Now to hold the pockets, you can use tear and tape adhesive if you want to. I am just going to take a mini glue dot, and you just want to tack this down. So just right there at the edge, I'm using my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to put a mini glue dot right down there. And then I'm going to put another one up here in this corner, right down there. And then I'm going to put 1 or 2, where'd they go? 1 or 2 here to hold that pocket down. And then of course we need to hold this flap down. So let's just take 1 more. And we will attach that. And that is the double pocket fold card. How easy was that? So now let's make the tags. There are so many different ways that you can make the tags, any size that you want to fit in the pocket, but because I'm using the scalloped tag topper punch, this is 2 inches wide, so I cut 2 different tag sizes. The first one, which is going to go in the back, is 2 inches by 5.5 inches, and then the smaller one is 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. But you can make them any size that you want to make them. So I'm going to go in here, and I always use my punches upside down, and on both punches I am going to punch out the scallop for the top. And then I cut 2 pieces of Whisper white cardstock to layer on top of the tags. I'm going to adhere the layers with my Stampin' Seal adhesive. You can use any adhesive that you want to. I don't ever use the Stampin' Seal, so I thought I would just change things up a bit and give it a try on this project. Okay, so now on the smaller tag, there actually was, there's a planned purpose here to how I did this. On the first tag, I stamped, this is from the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set, and the designer series paper is from that same suite in the mini catalog, the designer series paper that I use. So this is the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set, and I'm using the You're So Cool stamp with my Bermuda Bay ink. And on the smaller tag at the bottom, I'm stamping You're So Cool. And then on the larger tag on the bottom, I'm stamping Treat Yourself. because my goal here is, you're so cool, treat yourself, and then in the back, I will include a gift card and I'll write a nice sentiment on there. So these are the 2 tags, and then I just used the ice cream cone punch, which is part of that same ice cream suite. And I punched out 3 scoops of ice cream. Let me show you on the tags that are finished. Okay, so on the smaller tag, I punched out from the same designer series paper, here's a scoop of ice cream, and then I used the ice cream cone part and I punched out the cone, and I used this stamp here to stamp the little cone image on there to give it the dimension that it's an ice cream cone. And then on the larger one, I did 2 scoops of ice cream and I just flipped the designer series paper over. So this all matches the card itself. And then I put one down here too. If you could see, it's part of an ice cream cone that is cut off. To finish off the top of the tags, this is the fine art ribbon, this gold ribbon here. It's beautiful. This is in the current mini catalog. And then I tied a little bow with some linen thread. I did that on both of those. And then I finished off all of the pieces with some of the bluish sequins from the Artistry Blooms sequins. And these are in the annual catalog. You see those there. And I put 2 on this tag and 2 on this tag. So let's put the card back together. And then on the very front, I put happy birthday. So I have more detailed information about this on my blog at stampinwithcharlene.com. You saw how easy it was. I mean, it took less than a minute to make this fold. Once again, you can make it with designer series paper. It's fun to use as an invitation for any kind of an event. And you can, change your tabs out like I did here. One just had class of, the other ones had all the information about the party. You can do whatever you want. And then I like leaving this part open. I put a piece of Whisper White on the back so that I can write on it and include a gift card. So there you go, the double pocket fold card. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.